start. Thank you, Andrew. So in this part of our discussions today, we usually start with our women. I'd also like to ask everyone to please put their contact information into the chat window so that others on the call can have your contact information, especially if you are new to the IGU Summit events and the Global Unity Network.
Lloyd,
as always, yes.
Just two comments on your presentation. One, you mentioned there are 54 African countries in the African Union. However, there are 55. Morocco had previously left, but they did come back. The reason they left is because there was uproar about their colonialization of Western Sahara. You'll find that in the recent COP26, Western Sahara actually makes up 10% or more of the renewable energies outcomes that Morocco is claiming to have. However, that's not part of the United Nations Global Compact, United Nations, so that it was not included. And the second thing is that I do want to thank Energym University. It was Adam Greenwell on January of 2015 that brought in Energym University as the first organization that supported the 5 Points Youth Foundation drive to increase the membership of the United Nations Global Compact. So Energym University was the very first organization, and we do certainly appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Andrew. So it's good to know a little bit of the history, because our history actually goes back to pre-pandemic times. In late 2019, when we planted our very first tree of peace and reconciliation in September of 2019 at the 400-year anniversary commemorative activity. So we are actually linked as well to Bermuda through the tree of peace and reconciliation that's planted. We planted a total of 4 of them so far in the Greater Toronto area, but one in particular in St. Jamestown, Toronto, has significance in its connection to the crossroads of the Atlantic in Bermuda, which is planted at the crossroads of Hamilton, Bermuda. And we are now working with our esteemed colleague Stephanie, who I'd like to have her introduce herself as well, because we are attempting as well to set up a node we call the Crossroads of the Pacific on one of the islands of Hawaii. So if you could unmute yourself, Stephanie, and introduce yourself, that would be wonderful. Keyboard issues. Oh no, she's not able to unmute herself. Okay. Well, we'll come back to you, Stephanie. I'm just scanning who's here. Let me see. How about Jane? As we always, Jane from Tukitana EV Kenya, perhaps could introduce herself.
Also, just to let you know, we do have an extended time. Normally we'd be winding up in 10 minutes, but we have more time. But Lloyd, I would ask if you do have an agenda to please complete your agenda and then do the introduction of the guests, if you have an agenda. Thank you.
The agenda today was the additional slide in the presentation. I was thinking. Okay. Right. So that additional slide, as I said, many people were requesting a network map for the Global Unity Network, which that slide is not complete. It's just sort of gives an overview, but it does provide sort of a map of how this is being structured, even though it doesn't include every node, because there's probably at least a dozen more that were not shown there. But we are trying to organize things from this end to make sure. I'm looking for software actually that can make it easy to map out a network. I've been trying different tools, and so far I've not liked the tools that I've used so far, or tried to use so far.
Well,
so Stephanie,
Oh, you may want to try Free Mind. It's a mind mapping tool. It's free. So you may want to try mind mapping tools, open source. That might be able to assist you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's absolutely a great suggestion. You said there's one called Free Mind. I will write that down.
I'm able to unmute now.
All right, excellent.
Oh, wonderful.
Thank you, Stephanie. Go ahead.
Computers, right? All the modern technology, everybody. Anyways, thank you, Lloyd, and thank you, Andrew, and thank you, everybody. I'm so honored to be here again this week, as per every Thursday morning in Toronto, Canada. I am Stephanie Schuler, and I'm at the University of Toronto, OISE, the Ontario Institute for Studies in Education, completing my doctoral studies in education. I'm focused on holistic education in particular and social emotional well-being. I have a lifetime working with children, youth, women, and intergenerational communities in spaces in the schoolhouse and outside of the classroom and the schoolhouse, such as with youth groups, camps, community centers, with abled and differently abled populations. And that led me to being a learning and community design consultant in Toronto, Canada, and also now on Zoom quite a bit around the world. And my degree in play led to the creation of the Maui Aloha project, which is an eco-village initiative that is wanting to be co-created to be an inclusive and intergenerational community that values holistic well-being of each other and the planet. My particular research in my doctoral studies focuses on a deficit-based model, which means how our school system labels children as far as learning disabilities or language disabilities. It's a disability theory that we've decided in society that some people are disabled and some people are not. This is a construct, and this is a construct that I don't like, especially in schools. And that's my particular research, and that aligns with the Maui Aloha project, which is a living and learning and healing eco-village initiative. It's a way to live, a way for us to live in the future where we share the chores, we share the responsibility of the community with our multiliteracies, where we focus on sustainable and regenerative practices such as food system practices, food and housing security, agriculture, regenerative practices, education, but a learning center where children and the people around them can help expand children's opportunities for learning in every domain that interests them, not only a curriculum that's imposed. And so, and that's what we hope to promote, is an asset or ability model, where we look at what people in society has, not what people don't have, according to a construct that we've created. And I'm also a co-founder and co-chair of the Global Unity Network and co-founder and director of the Unity Learning Network for the purposes of addressing the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals through communication and practical food systems learning. So I look forward to getting to know all of you as well, and thank you for this time.
So yes, thank you, Stephanie, very much. So I had earlier asked if Jane wanted to introduce herself. I'm not sure if she's still on the line, but I'm also seeing other of our female humanitarian entrepreneurs from around the world, such as Emma and Susan, and let's see. If anybody would like to just put up their hand. I'm seeing Philbert is now putting up his hand. So go ahead, Philbert, if you'd like.
Yeah. Good afternoon from Tanzania, Lloyd and the whole team in this meeting. Yeah, do you hear me?
Yes.
Do you hear me?
Yes, we're hearing you.
Yes, may I first and foremost introduce myself? I am Philbert Joseph Kato from Tanzania. Meanwhile, I've been elected as a project director in UnitNet Tanzania chapter. I really appreciate the whole proceedings taking place in the UnitNet Tanzania, UnitNet Africa and Diaspora, and the Global Unity Business Group. Maybe I'd like to introduce to you and the whole people in the meeting that I am also the founder of the NGO here in Tanzania, Dodoma. The NGO named the Community's Expertise for Development Contributions. Yeah, we are child focused in our programs, integrating programs like we are talking about access, all children access to quality education, all children access to health services, and we have youth empowerment, women empowerment, also the economy, and also violence, combating violence against children, violence against women, inclusive environmental conservation. And also the chairman of the consortium, comprising 88 NGOs here in Tanzania, Dodoma. At the moment, we're in the establishment stage. Yeah, as chapter UnitNet chapter Tanzania, I would like to congratulate the whole proceeding. But members, the directors within the board at the moment, it's like we don't know what's actually going on. So you, Leod, and others, maybe if you try to push transparency and try to, if there would be a document showing the clear picture, what is happening, the proceeding, the system, how will the directors work, maybe the job description, and the other issues connected therewith will be something very great. But at the moment, yes, the establishment is taking place very slowly. I know establishment of the system is not something easy. It's something difficult to establish the system, but I believe in future things will be going very nice. And I really appreciate Dr. Carlos and Edgar for what they are doing at the moment. And finally, should I conclude in this way? I did prepare my presentation that you ordered me to do the other time about equity-based climatic action. And actually, I'm still waiting for that. I don't know, Leo, what you're going to say. By when am I going to present that document? That topic, that issue about equity-based climatic action. Otherwise, should I say, I really appreciate for the proceedings, and I wish you the best of luck. And actually, I'm ready to run and the support and the push. And the push unit chapter in Tanzania. That's what I can say.
Thank you, Philbert. And I will get back to you. Let's have a discussion just on WhatsApp later today, even to finalize when you can do a presentation, because these continue into next year. We still have many openings for our Thursday IGU Summit events. We will get you on.
Okay, fine.
So I'm seeing Deborah has her hand up. If you'd like to unmute yourself, Deborah, then it'd be great if you could introduce yourself. Are you able to unmute?
There we go. And I'm not seeing a way to allow my face to be on the video, so I apologize for that. But my name is Deborah Emanuel. I'm currently in Saco, Maine. Have been living in Arizona for 12 years and came back to Maine because my parents are needing more support and my dad's on hospice. So anyways, I'm here for that, but I'm part of a group called the Mother Earth Restoration Trust, and I've been doing community work for my entire adult life. And what I noticed in the time that I was in Arizona is that water is such an important issue. It is a critical issue globally. And in the Southwest, that is magnified by the prolonged drought that's been happening. So I have written up a proposal. I'm just in the beginning stages of putting it out into the world, but the water management practices that have been happening have been making the water situation worse. It's the understanding of what is needed to restore water systems is just, it's not in the science that is being looked at to determine what needs to happen with water levels and waterways in regenerating them. So my proposal is to shift from water management systems to regenerative water protection principles that would guide all of the work that's being done with water in a way that honors the sacred and hopefully restores the sacred relationship that humans have with nature and specifically with water. Water is life. If we continue to not honor the water, it will go away. It is going away. It's giving us that message. And so it requires a full education program within the community and within our leadership, and allocating funding for that, along with a deeper dive research into regenerative water practices and technologies that will actually begin the restoration process of our water. So that's my focus, and it just feels so necessary and so timely. I mean, late actually. I wish we'd started this 10 years ago, but we have, you know, it's available now, and there are technologies that are available, and all we need to do is tap into them and help the people who are in leadership roles around water to see the need for different systems.
Thank you. Thank you.
So kind of to put your contact information in the chat, and remember to save the chat before we leave so that you can follow up with the information here. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes, you're welcome.
Yes.
Thank you for doing this, these collaborative sessions, because it's so important.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Deborah.
You have an opportunity to make a presentation. I would say about no more than 30 minutes. We're scheduling these every week through May 26th of next year. So as Lloyd says, there'll be time, but it'll be a good idea to consider we have a global audience and we have a visual audience. So it's important that you have visuals that can get the word out as well as your verbal presentation. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. I would love to do that.
Yeah, so Deborah, let's have a conversation offline after this as well. We can connect on WhatsApp, and that will connect you into the Global Unity Network. We can bring you into we do have a chapter in the United States, so UnityNet USA, which was created by one of our colleagues who has connections to Africa. Susan, I believe she might even be on the line today with us. And so we will connect you as well with people in LA. We're part of that network who work with Andrew and others in our network. And as well, we'll connect you with some people in the restoration community here in Canada who are leading the regenerative community network as well, so we can tie whatever you're doing in your own local community and communities region back to the global work that we're trying to achieve.
That sounds wonderful. Sounds beautiful. Thank you. I would love to be a part of the group.
So did I see another hand up earlier, but I didn't see it right at the moment. Who has not spoken yet? I had asked if Susan might be able to speak.
Yes, good evening. It's already night in Kenya. Thank you so much, Mr. Lord Hati. This is Susan. I have worked in the community with community work for about 30 years here in Kenya, and I have worked with the children in 4K Club, with the youth groups and the women groups, in establishing tree nurseries, in establishing fruit tree nurseries, and also in soil and water conservation. I have also worked, especially now I am engaged with the 4K Club that has that was revived because it wasn't there for some time. And we are establishing fruit trees and creeping fruits like passion fruits for the 4K Club. That is one thing that I'm doing right now, and I'm writing a project for the 4K Club in my working area. I am so much happy to be connected with this Global Unity program, and I'll be following on in most of our meetings. I have been elected as a project coordinator in the Kenyan chapter, and we are going to get together soon to streamline the kind of work that we need to do in our areas. I come from Kilifi County, but I'm working in Nakuru County. Thank you, Lord Hefty, for the time that you've given me.
There's a distinct history about what the 4K Club is. And for those of us not from Kenya, explain what those 4Ks are and their role in the educational system previously.
Yes, come again, please.
4K Club, as I understand it, was actually part of the curriculum in Kenya for quite some time.
Yes.
Can you please give us a little background about that, please? The 4Ks?
Okay, the 4K Club was there before, and then it was revived recently. Then it is kuungana, kufanya na kutenda, kusaidia. So it means that we have to join our hands together and to help these youngsters in primary school to learn agriculture in their basic learning. And we do have 4K patrons. Those are teachers and 4K Club teachers. Last week I was teaching them on integration of ICT in agriculture and livestock and business. So how we can integrate ICT in agriculture. So we are going to start. We have already cited a place in most of the primary schools. I've been able to visit and train the teachers. So we are going to have kind of a garden for each school where we are going to do urban farming. And also we are going to separate an orchard. I have an orchard for the school children to learn how to establish a fruit orchard. And then we're also going to grow vegetables on urban technology devices like Mandalia gardens, vertical gardens, multi-story gardens, because where I work, it is in the urban, not in the rural. So we need to teach these children how to grow vegetables and fruits when they're living in the urban for food security. So the much they learn when they're young, as they grow up, they'll be able to join other groups, other senior groups in agriculture. So we are imparting this knowledge of agriculture to the young children in schools in 4K Club. And one thing is we are also involving them to contribute. So I started by telling their patrons to let every child bring 10 shillings. And then the Minister of Agriculture will come in with some other kind of aid or help, giving them products or giving them seedlings or chemicals when they need them to establish or to assist them a long way in growing their crops in their fields. So that is one thing that we are teaching the 4K Club, the use of the ground, the soil, and what's the importance of the soil to the roots and to the crop. Eventually, all those things are going to come in combined as agriculture, and it's going to help them so much as they grow up. Thank you so much. I can't say much about that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Susan. That's actually really very important that you're already in this process, and I think it would make a lot of sense for us to have ongoing conversations about that program that's already being launched. And so if we can integrate what we're trying to promote specifically on the regenerative solutions into those programs that are already underway and taking place in Kenya, then we can also integrate. We're looking at, as I said, the 5 different solutions on regenerative which of course we're looking at chemical free, but with a very strong focus on trees and fruit bearing and nut bearing trees as well as other regenerative practices, as in both rural and as you are doing in urban environments. So the vertical, let's say, farming solutions. And that is actually one of the things we're hoping to also demonstrate here. So we could probably get a lot of learning from yourself as well. And this is part of the exchange, is learning from each other in the different ways we can teach our children. So I'm seeing as well, Maisha, perhaps he has his hand up and perhaps he could unmute himself.
Yes, sir. Alors, Pastor Ideo, please.
Oui, je vous écoute.
Est-ce que vous pouvez m'aider à translate? Because I'm speaking.
Oui.
Ok, d'abord, je dis grand merci pour cette grande réunion bénéfique pour nous les Africains. Alors, Rola.
Yes, could I ask where you are located? Which country?
Yes, Rola.
Needs someone to translate for him. Can someone translate for him, please?
He's speaking from DR Congo.
Maisha is speaking from Congo.
DR Congo.
Yes.
Okay, well,
Yes, I'm speaking French. Hello, Rola.
Well, hopefully, as we move forward, and if we can get ourselves onto that virtual collaborative network, and if we can move these shows eventually to a smart network where we can have auto translation into whatever language, so that the virtual collaborative network should hopefully eventually have all the facilities of sort of the future smart networks.
In the meantime, do we have anyone on the line who's willing to translate for him or not?
Yes, I'm here to translate for him.
Okay, please go right ahead. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, Bishop, allez-y.
Je dis grand merci pour. Oui, je dis d'abord grand merci pour cette réunion d'aujourd'hui, bénéfique pour nous les Africains.
He's thanking you for having this program on behalf of we Africans.
On attend ça, mais on n'a pas venir, mais des choses pour nous. Mais j'aimerais dire tout simplement des choses que vraiment, organiser, quand on organise ça, il faut mettre pour nous les Africains, surtout de Centrafrique, pour nous qui parlent seulement de français, parce que il y a une difficulté pour suivre toute la réunion en French, en français, en anglais. Or, pour nous, ça c'est très important pour nous. Essayer de bénédiction même pour nos jeunes au niveau de l'Afrique centrale.
The Unity Net is a good program for we Africans, but it seems that the English people are being favored more than French-speaking country. You have to think of helping us to be able to communicate direct with you in French.
Okay, je suis le directeur de Tukatane EV au niveau de la RDC, mais aussi représentant de UnityNet au niveau de notre pays. Maintenant, pour nous, je vois que tout ce que nous sommes en train de faire, c'est une bonne chose. Mais j'aimerais que féliciter et dire tout. Merci, mais n'oubliez pas les femmes qui sont en train de faire pour jeunesse. Parce que ça, avec l'Afrique.
He is a director of NGO in DRC Congo, also the representative of Unity in Congo. So, but the network was so bad, I could not hear what he was saying.
It's actually this is a couple points I'd like to make.
The network is so bad.
Yes,
Oui,
you'll
la
have to
connexion
tell
est
him-
mauvaise, s'il vous plaît.
Yeah, you'll have to tell him that the connection is bad, and we'll have to have him back.
Comme il y a un
at some
problème de connexion, nous pouvons arrêter par là.
Oui, oui, oui. Ça va. I've stopped him. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, so thank you very much for attempting to we didn't get everything, unfortunately, that he said, but this was actually one of the exercises that Carlos has been doing in the recent days, is also trying to connect to our French countries in Africa. There are many former French colonies where people do speak French. Actually, our original, I mentioned the collaborative tree planting program, CTP program, was actually initially when we established late 2019, that program, and that was an attempt to plant some trees on behalf of the government of Canada after Justin Trudeau had promised to plant 2 billion trees in Canada. After when he was an election promise he made during the first election. So we were going to plant those trees, or some of those trees, in Prince Edward County. But our partner at the time was a group based in the Democratic Republic of Congo, where we were going to plant trees on the private property on farms across Prince Edward County in Eastern Ontario, with an equal number of trees through a program called You Plant, We Plant, based out of Europe, where for every tree we planted in Canada, we would plant a tree in the Democratic Republic of Congo as well. But of course, the pandemic happened, so that program never came out, because our partner at the time was actually the Canadian military. There is a military base in the area. And they ended up being deployed in various ways to deal with the pandemic, including the rollout of vaccines and other activities like rescuing people from China.
In the interest of time, Lloyd, in the interest of time, perhaps anyone that hasn't spoken can speak before we close.
I am seeing Penina has their hand up.
My name is Penina from Tanzania. I'm working with Tanzanian Women Lawyers Association aiming at promoting equality in the society between men and women, but also we are dealing with protecting children's rights. Thank you very much for the presentation today. I just want to contribute. In our organization, we have a project now of helping women across the country to have title to land, means to own their own land. So what I've got from your today's presentation is that the next step of our project should be helping the women in our country on how to use land productively to help the entire society. Thank you very much.
So I just would like to very briefly say on that point, since you are connected to a network of lawyers, that we'd like to potentially connect you to some lawyers that are promoting the Sustainable Development Goals out of the University of Waterloo. There's a team there. I've attended some of their webinars, and they are a set of lawyers where we can connect you to that group, and perhaps we can work together to tell your story and their story together in a presentation, a special presentation in the future, and ensure that the issues that you have on the ground, which are this is the very important part of developing this network, is understanding the on the ground issues in the local communities where these women are trying to move forward, but are being sometimes blocked by whether it's laws or structural systems that prevent them from achieving and realizing their best outcomes. So I will as well ask if there's anybody else that would like to say a few words. I guess it is now 12:20 already, so.
Hello.
Oh, hello, Carlos. Go ahead.
Yes, my name is Carlos Richard Sanko. I am the Continental President for UnityNet Africa. Just briefly, I want to say, yesterday we had a Continental Board induction orientation. I hear somebody was saying from Tanzania that they don't know yet much about what UnityNet is all about. Yeah, that is true. Yes, because we are working on setting up so many chapters in the 55 countries in Africa. So Tanzania happened to be, for now, they have set up their board of trustees. So we finished with the Continental Board. So now we are going to do what we call scale down training. We want to ensure that all chapters created and have their boards ready, they are going to be trained as to what they need to understand, their operations, operational lines, their functions, and everything around also the constitution, policies, etc., etc. So very soon, our brother from that angle, Tanzania, you will be trained, and I'll show you that that will be done very soon. It's not only there, but all other chapters that are currently existing. And also, I want to also relay the affairs of a brother from Congo, Bishop Massey, that to know we don't just concentrate to the English country. As you also mentioned, I'm seriously working together with my team with French countries like DR Congo, Cameroon, Chad, Benin, even other French countries. So very soon, of course, you see that we always ensure that what we are doing in the English countries, we're doing the same thing to the French countries. And I work on a daily basis. I'm really working with you in French. And also I'm working with even the Arab countries in Arabic. So I cut across the entire continent to ensure that all the official languages are really represented, and we are able to communicate to you effectively, efficiently, and you're able to function in the future. Thank you so much.
And I wanted to mention as well that we actually are looking now for, we actually established the first node of the French language network that we established actually some time ago, earlier this year, was just a simple Unity Network Africa and Francophonie group, but it was actually based in Montreal. We're looking for new leadership. In particular, we would like to have leadership is bilingual, if possible. So, for instance, during a call like this, since I personally am only speaking English, I can read some French, but understanding and speaking French is not my languages, is not my forte. And of course, many of the members of the network, we did start out with Sierra Leone, an English-speaking country in the west of Africa, and Kenya. Other English-speaking countries were the first, because that is my language, of course, here in Canada. But we do have, or we did originally have a network, people leading an organization, the Francophone chapter, Canadian chapter out of Montreal. But we are now looking for new leadership of that group. But there are also as well members in that chapter from Haiti, as an example, as well. So that there are other French speaking people, but we just need to reestablish a new leadership team for the French language.
Does anyone else want to introduce themselves before we close? Now's that time.
Good evening.
Yes, I would like to introduce.
Yes.
Yes, thank you very much, Lloyd, and the leadership.
Please introduce yourself. Right. Say your name and country, please.
All right, my name is Willie Sokumo. I'm currently the Vice President, Kenya chapter. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you, Lloyd, and the entire leadership of Global Unity Network. Basically, I'm from Kenya, as I mentioned earlier on, but I am a climate mitigation expert, and adaptation expert for that matter. I basically get involved in supporting and promoting adaptation programs within the rural areas. I network and partner with a number of community-based organizations and religious organizations within the rural areas, just to support adaptation activities for the individuals living within those communities. But besides that, I'm also so much also in the corporate world, trying to promote sustainability programs and trying to support organizations actually achieve the net zero targets based on the Science-Based Targets Initiative. I do a lot of capacity building as well when it comes to spreading news and information about climate change, especially in the lower category of schools. Besides that, I also do a lot of carbon footprint assessments for organizations as a consultant. And more than that, I'm a carbon auditor and a greenhouse gas validation and verifier expert. So I want to take this opportunity really to thank you for this really good initiative aimed at supporting the least developed countries and other people within, so to speak, the less privileged people really try and live comfortably in the face of this climate catastrophes. We will be supporting you, and we'll do everything that we're required to do to help you and to help the organization actually achieve the objective and the mission of this particular network. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for this.
Please put your contact information in the chat. And if you're working with an organization, their website. Also, I am the
Thank you very much.
Chairperson for the International Advisory Board for the Center for African Volunteers in Nairobi, Kenya. Joseph at Moses is the CEO. I put the link in the chat also there where you can contact us. We'll be happy to work with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So I'm seeing it's 2:30 right now, and I suppose we should probably wrap it up for the day, unless anybody else just has 1 minute or so. Put your sort of raise your hand if you do. If not, I thought I heard somebody else saying something. If not, we'll likely just wrap it up for today.
Yeah. sorry, I just want to say, yeah, I want to just want to say this to the African leaders that we're coming out with our work plan that we're going to direct the affairs of UnityNet Africa. So very soon it's coming out so that we have a clear directory as to what we are doing, where we are doing it, when we are doing it, and the expectations. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ayodele, I'd say your hand is up as well. We can probably take a minute. Are you able to speak, Ayodele? If not, I also see Jafoa. We don't hear Ayodele. Perhaps Jafoa would like to unmute.
Yes, good evening from Uganda. My name's
Looks like we lost Ayodele, but Jafoa, you'll need to unmute yourself again.
Yes, I'm called, good evening everyone from Uganda, Kampala. I'm called Malaika Gabriela Ligami, CEO for an aged care organization called Jafoa, and a country vice president for UnityNet Africa, and a continental treasurer, UnityNet Africa, and a women and children activist. We do a lot of work here concerning the widows, the women, and the child mothers, the young children under the age of 15, and the orphan vulnerable children in refugee camps, in hard-to-reach communities. And I'm so happy to be part of the UnityNet Network Africa. And I'm happy for this coming together of many organizations so that we can be able to know and to fulfill the agenda and the vision of the network. That's why every Thursday, if I'm okay, I cannot fail to miss to attend these meetings. The more we attend the meetings, the more we are getting enlightened, informed, and the vision is getting to be more clearer and clearer to us on what we are expecting and what we are supposed to do and not to do. Back to Mr. Leod and Mr. Andrew and our president, Mr. Carlos. I thank you so much for organizing such a network. And we are here not to fail you, but to work hard and smart to achieve the vision. Thank you so much as I hand over to Mr. Ayodele. Thank you.
Is Ayodele back on the line? I saw him drop out earlier. Oh, yeah, he's back there. If you would like to try to reconnect, Ayodele.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you're now. Oops.
Appreciate what the Global Indigenous organization is doing in together with the UnityNet. We want to appreciate you for this wonderful program that you have brought to us in Africa. And I want to appreciate our president, the president of the UnityNet African, Professor Carlos, for the good job that he's doing. He is capable of leading this organization in Africa. So we just want to assure you that we are not going to fail this organization. We are not going to fail the visionaries. We are not going to fail the board of directors. And also here in Uganda, we are working very hard to make sure that everything is well established. Thank you for the great job. And I want to wish all of you good night from Uganda. Thank you.
Yeah, So Uganda is the secretariat of the UnityNet Africa and Diaspora right now. So all UnityNet African country groups would register their board of directors, their local teams, with the Uganda chapter and the board of directors, which is of course across the entire continent. And then each chapter, of course, will be charged with establishing the local interfaith neighborhood and business collaboratives in communities across each country.
Just a note, if I may, for Ugandans, I do have a very strong representative in Uganda. His name is Samaju Tim. His organization is focused on delivering solutions to the rural community. But if you contact me, my contact information is in the chat. I like to connect Samaju Tim with your organization. So I look forward to working with you on the ground as well. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Andrew. It's always good to connect as well, of course, with the local people that are already doing work on the ground in each country, in each jurisdiction, as well as, of course, with the diaspora, which is part of the reason why we do have that in the name of the chapter. That in the name of the chapter. So I guess we can wrap up for today. If there's no other person that will be able to speak. Today, I want to thank everybody. I will be adding more information to the slide presentation that I do at the beginning of each of these IGU Summit events, but we'll try to cut down on the time as much as possible as well, so that these presentations will hopefully be slimmed down to perhaps 30 minutes.
Well, actually, Lloyd, I'd like to ask you to try to extend it to 60 minutes, because the idea is that the more we're able to repeat the message, the more we're able to reach a wider audience, and we're building understanding as we go forward. So I'm willing to adjust the time for the speakers afterwards, but I think your presentation is very powerful. And I think the more we do it, the better able we will be to reach a wider broadcast audience. In particular, I need to let everyone know, another of our co-sponsors is Universal Citizens Media Network. We have a channel waiting for us when we are able to provide the professional presentations that will reach a wider audience. So think of this as your Hollywood do-over and your preparation to go global. Get ready for prime time. Thank you.
Yeah, so I've understood that for the last little while, that we are trying to create a presentation that will fill basically an hour slot. And I think it's an opportunity also for other citizen journalists as well. Anybody in our network who would like to become a citizen journalist has that opportunity to create their own shows, essentially, to really get their message out about what they are doing over these networks. So thank you again, Andrew. We will continue with these next Thursday. And I want to thank everybody in the network as we build it, especially Carlos. I know he's super busy every day, volunteering his time to develop the network in Africa. He's such a champion in terms of really putting all of his effort into this. And I want to thank as well Stephanie here in Toronto. And we're going to be hopefully connecting soon with one of the guests that was on our call today, who's in Toronto as well, that I mentioned at the very beginning of this call. I sent a message out yesterday by email that we'll connect and have a conversation with them. Hopefully have our network locally in the spotlight as well, in perhaps even in the next election in Ontario. So thank you, everybody, and good day or good night for many of you.
Well, thank
you and good Good day. Good day too.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
day.
Good day.
Thank you, everyone, and good night. Good day.
I love everyone here. Take care. Please, if you can, save the chat to your device or contact me by email and I'll send the chat out to those who request a copy of the material. Thank you so much.
Ali?
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you so much.
Yeah, let's reconnect later, Deborah. I think there's some opportunities, hopefully, to really get things launched in the United States, because that's been a quiet network recently. But,
sorry, Andrew, can you help me? How many people we have today? The participants, the attendants.
Are you talking to me, Carlos?
Yes, I'm asking just to help me with the total participants for today, the attendance.
It was up to 27.
Call me on WhatsApp after this. I'm going to talk on WhatsApp.
All right, okay.
Okay, I'm going to end the call now. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Andrew.
All right.